Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Nerd Mode On, officially doing my 8th installment of The Barracks. This is a video series where I'll be showing you guys some in-game footage of a video game, which is usually going to be Black Ops for your viewing eyes, and translating it into a real-life scenario, or discussing the weapon in a real-life perspective. So with that said, guys, we have a very interesting weapon today. It is something I think that I am more interested in viewing, and overall giving you guys some factual information about the weapon and its overall statistical format. But with that said, guys, we're going to jump into the main gist of it, and you guys are going to learn what kind of ammunition that this weapon shoots, and overall the appearance and the, the sound and the boom boom making it, produces on the battlefield. So that's it for you guys. We're going to jump into it, and the weapon I'm going to be discussing today is known as the AK-47. It is classified as a type, or its category basically is the assault rifle. With that said, its place of origin is the Soviet Union, and I don't think that probably surprised anyone. I think you kind of probably knew that, considering that it's in a majority of today's generation's games. And overall, it is, usually portrayed in the right era, and overall, the correct nation is usually upholding the weapon in this standard issue format. So, it was brought into service in 1949 to present date. It is still being used to a present date standard, and overall it's seen its fair share of its wars and what it's been used in, but anything you guys can think of, it has to be anything to do with a terrorist attack, which, I'm pretty sure they're probably using something of this category, or maybe an RPK or anything of that nature. Definitely the AK-47 is one of the more sold weapons on the black market, especially in, third world countries or anything of that stature. I'm not saying it's just third world countries. There are thousands and thousands of places that it's sold worldwide in a standard format, but the black market is definitely a place where it's sold amongst people, and overall it's a protection weapon. It's very reliable, and overall I think it's just probably a weapon that a lot of people prefer over a standard issue, small in arms, like a pistol or something. So we're going to get into the designer, and unfortunately I have about no clue on how to say this last name, so we're going to abbreviate it in a slang format. So we have Mikhail Clash, and then after that it just gets really crazy and I can't pronounce it. So I apologize if that's unprofessional in your guys' eyes, but it's probably better than me sitting here for 15 minutes stuttering over how to pronounce the word. But if you are interested, you can definitely go search maybe like Wikipedia or something and find exactly how to say it. Maybe you can say weapons or people's names a lot better than I can that created a weapon, but unfortunately I do not possess that skill set. It was designed in 1944 to 1947. The manufacturer is Izmash, I think that's how you say that, or it might be Azmash, but it was produced in 1949 to 1959, so good 10 years there. It was the numbers built is approximately 75 million. The AK-47 grosses about 100 million, so depends on the kind of types, but overall if you were to add them all up, it's about 100 million copies for its selected variants of the assault rifle category. So guys, we're going to get into the weight distribution factors here, and this is where stuff can get a little bit more interesting, and overall this is in kilograms or inches or pounds, depending on the format that I choose for your your ears to observe and listen. So we're going to go with it right off the weight distribution parts. It's going to be about 4.78 kilograms, 10.5 pounds with a loaded magazine. With the AKM weight, it is unloaded with a 3.1 kilogram. For the length, it's 880 millimeters, 35 inches fixed wooden stock, 875 millimeters, 34.4 inches folded stock extended. With that said, it's going to be 645 millimeters, 25.4 inches stock folded. The barrel length is going to consist of 415 meters, or 16.3 inches. The cartridge that the AK-47 uses is a 7.62 by 39 millimeter M43/M67. So I guess we don't have NATO today, but that's pretty cool. I mean, it uses a heavy damn round. Jesus, if that hits you, that would not be something pleasant, that's for sure. The action is gas-operated rotating bolt. The rate of fire is it has a couple different ones, but overall, if you were to do it on full auto, it's going to be 600 rounds per minute. Semi-automatic, it's going to be 40 rounds a minute. That sounds really low, but overall, that's the information I found for you guys. And if you go a full auto burst, it's going to be 100 rounds a minute. So, just depends on what kind of engagement you're fighting. If you're fighting somebody that's, long range, you're probably going to want to go semi-automatic, and just pepper the trigger, maybe do a little bit of 1 to 3 round burst, and then kind of let it reset, and overall, go from that standpoint. If you get into a building which has enemy foes in there, you're going to want to go full auto. You're going to want to just blast them into the next millennium. Am I not correct? Or, well, it depends on where your friendly teammates are as well, but overall, I'd go full auto on that bad boy. So, muzzle velocity is going to consist of 715 meters a second, 2,350 feet a second if you use a different metric system, because the United States seems to use some weird shit. So, with that said, you're going to have the effective range ranging from 350 meters or 380 yards, so about the size of 4 football fields, and your effective range is going to start to dwindle. It's going to use a feed system, which is known as a standard magazine capacity of 30 rounds, which I think most of us probably saw coming. But there is the also capacity for a 10, 20, 40, 75, and 100 round detachable box magazine, or, well, more or less it's a box magazine, but it's a box or drum style magazine. So overall, I mean, you can go about 3.3 times the amount of a normal standard round magazine. So that's pretty cool if you want to use 100 rounds. Overall, I didn't actually know that they had a 100 round magazine for the AK. It's probably a good thing that Call of Duty doesn't implement that, because that would become an issue, I would only imagine, because Call of Duty has a sense to mess stuff up in a generic standpoint. With the sights, you guys are going to have a pretty standard issue stuff. You're going to have adjustable iron sight with a 378mm 14.9 sight radius. So the AK-47 has about 100 to 800 meter adjustment, while the AKM has 100 to 1000 meter adjustments. So depends on your variant. You are going to get into some crazy stuff, and overall, I mean, it just depends on the variants. The AK definitely does have brothers that look of the similar design, like the AKM, for example, is something that is a little bit more, looks a little bit closer to the appearance. I mean, you have the AK-74U, which is definitely another comparison, just due to slight adjustments and overall modifications of the weapon. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I do hope you guys are enjoying the series. I do realize that numbers can get a little non-interesting, I guess, in a generic standpoint, but I find this stuff interesting. I mean, you never really think about the stuff that you find in a video game, like when you have an M16 in your hand or an AK-47 for this sake. I mean, you don't really think about the history it has. It doesn't really possess anything to you, because it's not brought to you in a standard format that's like, hey, this is a gun that's used in this part of the world. It's used in different formats. It can be brought up to a generic, overlook, which can consist of, is it consistent in a video game? Does it possess the overall abilities of what the real life version does and all that stuff? So I find the information to be something of an interesting factor, and overall I really enjoyed the series. I hope you guys are as well. You guys have been giving it good feedback, so I presume that you guys are either just supporting the series as a standpoint, or you're really interested in the information that I've been bringing you guys as a standalone. So, without further ado, guys, I'm going to sign off just a little bit early. I will see you guys in the next installment, and this is going to be Nerd Mode On, signing off. Peace, guys.